Hello everyone, this is the very first episode of my podcast series, and I'm your host Sharma. Today we are diving into the world of gig economy, a dynamic work model where short term jobs and freelancing opportunities redefine the traditional employment. We have a very special guest with us today, Mr. Aditya Kumar Sharma, a professor at Delhi University and a PhD holder from BHU. He is here to share valuable insights into the future of work, flexibility, and challenges that come with the gig economy. Welcome, sir. To begin with, please introduce us to the concept of gig economy.
Okay, so see, when you see this economy, the particular economy that we're talking about, the gig economy, it's an economy where you have to do, you paid for certain kind of work, and you paid just on the ability of doing that work. So if like say if you are working for Zomato, for Swiggy, even for Ola, Uber, so what you do is you pay ride by ride wise. In a Zomato, you will be paid delivery per delivery wise. Uh, so what happens in these type of economies are that this type of economy, when you are a part of this economy, this has some pros and cons. The first pro of this might be that it's a rather more unstructured type of a system. So you can do it whenever you're free.
Okay.
So if you're free and you think you want to earn some extra amount of money, so you can get registered and be a rider or deliver something for Swiggy, Zomato, and a lot of stuff. So in that way, it's kind of flexible thing, right? So you do not need to have a particularly what you say a corporate lifestyle or 9 to 5 lifestyle that you'll have to wake up at 9 o'clock. You want to do it today, you do it today. If you want to do it tomorrow, you do it tomorrow. It depends on how many hours you work per day and how many days you work.
It's a flexible system.
It's a kind of flexible system. So that's one of the most important part of it. So, and that is the most attractive part of this kind of economy, that this is very flexible in this sense. Now, talking about the rationality of the gig economy, I find my own assumptions as it is going to be one of the prime most thing which will be driving the economy over the course of time,
Okay.
because then it involves a lot of uh, less structure than you need, right? So let's say you are a Zomato rider, right, or a Ola rider, Uber rider. So you are always on the field. So you do not have an office space. So the cost of office space has reduced tremendously, right? Because that particular ride or that particular car or bike or whatever you are on, that is your office. So, as the normal office structure goes, you need fan, AC, tube light, and everything, a, hygienic washroom, a place to have the place to drink water. You do not need that. That is all managed by the person who is doing it.
Yes.
So, because it is more kind of flexible and uh, cost rational, if you say in that sense, so you will find it rather more, uh, you know, accepting by the people in the business world, right? So in this sense, the business people would accept it, that because they won't have to pay the upper works, and then people are working on their own. Flexibility is there. Now the problem with gig economy actually happened when you saw COVID.
Okay.
So what happened was that people who were working, and there's a huge part of population working as a gig economy workers. The problem which the people saw was very tremendous. What happened over the course of time, there was this COVID and lockdown and all sort of thing happened because there was this virus going around. You see the ability of all these companies to deliver actually reduced, just because the people that were hired as gig economy workers, they went back to their homes, because one, they did not have a particular kind of structured employment. So if they were working, that is very good, they'll be paid, they might earn a lot of money if they're working. But if they're not working, they're not paid anything. So why would they be here, or they be at this place, so what they did was they went back to the places. So again, it was also the idea of COVID, but then you see for that course of time, uh, it became very difficult for any e-commerce to work. Everything just collapsed, right? And that is when you find the wrongs of the gig economy. Because the person who's working in the gig economy is not himself assured
Assured of job.
so assured of how this would play out. So today you're working, right? Tomorrow you're not getting orders, so it's not a kind of formal employment that you will be paid.
Yes, sir.
Not getting orders, they won't pay you. So what is happening is that there's this kind of trust that goes around, right? That trust is not there. So, and eventually it's not a formal type of employment, so they do not have to wake up every day and go to office and do any kind of work. So because of that, you need to understand that this gig economy in the course of its time would eventually, the more you're being dependent on gig economy workers, the more dynamic this whole process or the supply chains are being.
Okay.
Right. So if one part of supply chain, especially the people who are at the core front of the supply chain, the one who are delivering our
Delivering the products.
foods, our shopping materials and whatever it is, right? If these forerunners, they do not feel secure, they won't even work after some point of time, because then they're in the way of finding a better thing to do, right? Because nobody wants to be in a kind of dilemma or
Yes.
what would happen to me if tomorrow I'm not well. So health they do not have, right? So what would happen to them if they won't be able to work? So they all need a formal social kind of employment.
Yes.
That is the kind of bane to this economy, and the more you get dependent on it, the more as per the country and the GDP get dependent on it, the more dynamics of fluctuations
Yes.
that would happen over the course of time.
So, majorly in world economics also, gig economy has grown apart like very rapidly, right? And it's often seen that it's seen as you are the boss of your own in that context. But do you really think that they are the boss of their own when it comes to real gig economic workers? When we see situations of like Zomato workers, Zomato delivery guys, and other gig workers, do you really think they are boss of their own, or do they work according to the company needs and
See, there's something that we must understand before we understand economy. I believe this whole thing started through something called freelancing,
yes.
right? There's a world called freelancing, and then there are gig workers. When you're freelancing something, you're saying that my skills, I'll give my skills to somebody who can give me more money, right? And I'll do it on my own terms. But what happens is when you're delivering a project or delivering anything, it is just not your will that that you work on. There are the demands of the person who is paying you, and in that sense he needs something, and he needs something in particular frame of time. Yes, in a sense of way, you can say that if I do not want to go to office today, I won't go to office today. If I'm a freelancer, if I do not want to work for somebody today, I won't work for somebody today. But over the course of time, let's say in a month or two, when I have to deliver that project, because I'm in a contract with another person, right? That I have to deliver him something for the money that he's paying me. I have to do it for the larger period of time. You are in kind of a contract. So contract
You're
is
bounded
not
by the
contract is bounded.
Okay.
Contract is never on the free will.
Yes.
Day to day, if you see that, if you do not see, I am a university professor, so I have to come to the university 5 days a week in the morning, and I go in the evening, whatever the structure I follow. Right, I have to be here. I have a lot of duties other than that. But if I am a freelancer, so if I do not wish to come to the university today, I won't come to the university today. So that way, if you see, you can say that there is some kind of flexibility, or if you call it freedom.
Yes.
But when you see it at large, then you are again bounded by the time. Time is of the essence,
Yes.
right? So freelancing, and now if you see gig workers and you see these people in Uber and they have this particular thing that the more they will work, the more bonuses they will get,
Bonuses they will get, yes.
right? So the boss of their own is, I do not find it the right perception, because then everybody wants to earn it, and there are rules and regulations that are employed to everybody, right? So I do not ascertain to this idea that you are boss of your own. Yeah, this can be that you are working on your times. That is that one thing I can accept, that you're working on your own time. But apart from that, I do not think, because you see these you talk to these Ola Uber riders, they start in the morning and they go back home at night, some at 6 o'clock, some at 7 o'clock, some at 8 o'clock. So
Some,
averagely they do 8 or 9 hours a day.
sometimes they do overwork as
They
well.
overwork also. Sometimes they work for 12 hours a day
Yes.
because of the bonuses that they have to earn. Because again, they have the family to feed to.
Yes.
So I do not think so. This, my perception is not that according to this particular. But then again, you have some sort of freedom which a 9 to 5 person do not have. That's
Yes.
there.
Okay, so to wrap up, I have two last questions. As an HR, my HR curiosity says, how do you think can we, this is a huge informal sector in our economy, how do you think can we convert it into a formal regulations? We can apply some formal regulations for the employee safety. There are benefits, there are no gratuities, no pension plans for such kind of employees, although they are working for for the profits of company, right? First. Second, how can it be more gender neutral? Because you see most of the gig workers are males, they are not females. And if we talk about the informal sector, when we come to formal sector, there shall be some kind of gender neutrality in that. How do you think that this can be done?
See, the first thing is what I believe is, I believe the government has started working on this. As you said, there is no health, there's no gratuity, there's no pension,
No benefits.
right? There's no benefits as a person should get,
Yes.
right? So I believe the government has to step in here, right? Because again, this kind, if they do not trust the system, they will leave the system for the first instance, and we have seen this in COVID. So they need to trust that there is somebody and there is a policy for them. So there has to be, and because it is growing rapidly, this sector is, this part of employment, this type of employment is growing
It's a
rapidly.
huge part of GDP.
Yeah, so what should happen is the government should step in and come up with some ideas to protect them in their place of work. About the gender neutrality case, I believe, see, the problem with the gender neutrality comes from the availability of infrastructure, right? So what happens is that these gig economy workers do have to travel to a lot of areas, right? So the first thing is that the companies who are in pursuit of the gig economy workers should create the infrastructure which is an inclusive type of infrastructure, which is as inclusive as for a woman as for a man, right?
Yes.
So, and there can be some adjustment that can be made so that you can inculcate them also in the process, right? The other part is, which I believe, which is now not that particular thing, but then it is about the idea that we have created in our minds. So we are not able to break the idea still that women are going out and working. So that thing needs to be tackled at the grassroots level. That women can earn, and they can earn better, and they can support the family too, right? Women can do a lot of stuff. So infrastructure is needed and education is needed too. A lot of women, you might even know that do not even know the word gig economy.
Yes.
So they do not know what are the prospects of it. They have decided that this particular person is working for Amazon. On what capacity and what level they are working, they have no idea, right? So information is the key. If you cannot inform them, there is structure like this. See, women have done from defense to space research. Our Indian women have been everywhere,
Yes.
right? And gig economy, they can do wonders in gig economy, right? Because see, what happens is when you see this kind of structure, a lot of gig economy workers, male, deliver to the women who are housewives, because they deliver to a time where if you're not working, you either put it with the guard, or if you're not at that you're there available at that particular time during the weekdays, you might not be working.
Yes.
So putting women on that pedestal the other women feel safer. So for the first thing that should be done is to provide them information. Please provide them the kind of information that there is this kind of sector,
Okay.
and then you create a workspace, and this can be done through the company that is there,
Okay.
right?
Okay, so do you think that the legal framework which we talked about, the formal legal frameworks that are there in our country, will they apply to these? If even the government tries to get our informal sector into formal, the gig economy part, will these very strict formal laws will apply to to this economy, or do we need to type of changes in these regulations to adjust them to the part of gig economy?
See, what I believe is the government should, have sit with the star walls of this business sector and sit on a table and talk to them regarding this thing, that this is the problem that we're facing and we want you to do something for them, right? So you would see, this is my own thing that I've seen. A lot of these gig economy workers, when it's very hot and very humid or raining, they take shelter behind some bus stands or some places. They need places to,
Yes, yes.
sit at least. They might need a washroom.
Basic
to use.
human needs.
Basic human. I have seen people denying as small as washroom facilities to these people, and this is wrong.
They're even denying offering water to them.
This is
I've
very
seen
wrong.
that,
This
yes.
is very wrong. This is the basic human needs. So I believe the government should sit with the charwals of these industries and talk to them.
Yes.
That you need to create something for them,
Yes.
right? And once you start giving them, then you can talk about the legal framework and things like that.
Okay.
The first thing that we should do is we should talk about the basic needs. If we as a country could not pertain to the basic needs, you see who are these economy workers. These are the workers starting from the age of 18 or 19 and going to the age of 30, 35, 40.
Just to provide
Right.
food for their family.
Yeah, and
Breadwinners.
these are the our demographic is of a very young country.
Yes, sir.
And if we cannot provide some basic amenities to our youth, which are working for us only, right?
Yes.
They're not working for anybody else. So that is the first thing. That you need to sit, you need to ask them, you need to request them. See, we need to do it, and this can be done through public-private partnership, right? It's not that the industry has to bear all the cost. It can be done through public-private partnership, right?
Yes, sir.
It can be also done through the public, by involving different communities to it, by making them aware about this.
Sort of NGOs, maybe?
Yeah, sort of NGOs. You can also involve. That's a very good idea. You can involve sort of NGOs. You can ask them to help them, right? So all these things are basic. So once we can get over these basic needs, then we can talk about the legal framework and this and that, right?
So thank you so much. We were very honored to have you here, and sir gave us very important insights about gig economy, which has helped us shape the basic general information about gig economy. So I'm very thankful to you, sir.
Thank you very
Giving
much. Thank you
your
for
valuable
this
time.
talk. It was a very good talk, and I believe that whatever you guys are doing, it would reach the masses.
So, hey, that's a wrap for today. Thanks for tuning in and being part of our conversation. If you found value in this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a beat. And hey, if you're out there hustling, drop a hashtag gig hustler in the comments to show up your support. Until next time, keep grinding, keep thriving.